So we'll start from where we left in the last class. This is what we have so far achieved. Let me quickly go to the overprint preview mod so that we can evaluate the thing we have done. And then I'm going to go to the preview mod. Okay. So this was our reference, and based on that we had tried creating a layout which is similar. Okay. All right. Now the bottom section of this layout needs to be created, and I have already downloaded a couple of images which we will be using. But let's analyze this layout for a while. And what we realize in this is that we have similarity in the headers. The size of the headers are similar and the font is also similar. Also, there are some other text information given here which have similar styles, such as this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. So these two are similar in style, these three are similar in style, and this one, and this one are similar in style, so as the red text here and here. Huh. So now the question here is that every time we write something, defining that style becomes a problem. Every time we repeat the same set of actions, we select the text and then we go and then modify the font size, choose the correct family. So it's a big problem, right? So to save us from that problem, we have amazing things in InDesign such as character styles and paragraph styles. So paragraph styles controls the attributions of a paragraph, and character style allows you to manipulate it at character level. So we will understand first these two things before we move ahead in creating with the layout. So I'm gonna make a copy of this text we were using, and I'll tell you about what a paragraph is. So essentially the whole paragraph can be broken down into multiple entities of its own. So a word is created out of characters, right? A word is created out of characters. A sentence is created out of multiple words. A line is created out of multiple sentences, may be created out of multiple sentences. And a paragraph is multiple sentences together, right? And we will have to understand how this works. In this placeholder text also we have lines, and lines will behave as per the dimension of the paragraph. Okay, so a paragraph controls how many lines it will have based on its width. So if I reduce the width, automatically the lines are going to readjust, and we can call it that this paragraph is a narrower paragraph compared to this one. Okay, now for readability purpose, we break down the paragraph in columns also, or we can also break it down in multiple paragraphs. If I introduce a paragraph here, a break here, that will be known as a paragraph break, because if I hit enter, it breaks the whole paragraph into two paragraphs. Okay, a line break is already there, but this is just a visible line break. You should not be calling it like line break. This is just because I have reduced the width of the paragraph. To introduce a line break, the shortcut is control enter. Rather than saying enter, say control enter. Oh, they have changed the rule. maybe shift enter, I think, because they have changed the shortcut keys. Earlier it used to be control enter. Let me just quickly check if we have managed to create a line break or not, because it seems as if nothing happened, right? So we can go to the type and then we can go for show hidden characters option. Now if I do that, I should be able to see the hidden characters also. Oh, it's not showing up. Why? हाँ, वो आता है, वर्ड में भी आता है, इसमें भी आएगा। इसमें पता नहीं, आई थिंक दे हैव चेंज द शॉर्टकट और समथिंग। लाइन ब्रेक दिख रहा है लेकिन पैराग्राफ ब्रेक दिख नहीं रहा है यहाँ पे। सो हिडन कैरेक्टर्स में इट शुड बी शोइंग। नो, हिडन कैरेक्टर्स में दिखेगा ना वो। हाइफनेशन इज डिफरेंट। Anyway, let's not get into that right now because we can see it if the paragraph styles are working on it or not. So I'll show you there. दिखा था क्या? नहीं दिखा। ये this is just the font. Okay. So how we I have just pressed backspace to get back on the same position. I'll just quickly remove this comma and capitalize this. So I have two paragraphs right now here. Now the way we select text in InDesign is different than. Now see understand how the paragraph will behave. Notice no matter how much I reduce the size or increase the size, this line will never go above this. Right? So that means there is a paragraph break. Okay. Now another thing I want you to notice how we are selecting text here. If I click on text tool and let's say that I want to change the style of the top paragraph, usually what we do, we select the entire paragraph, right? And then we change anything into it. So let's say I want the font to be bigger. This is how we do it, right? If I want it to be right aligned, so I'll have to select the entire paragraph and then click on the right alignment. Okay, but in InDesign, the entire paragraph is treated as a separate entity, and in order to select the paragraph, you need not to highlight the entire paragraph. You just have to click anywhere in between the paragraph. That's it, and the whole paragraph is selected. Now if I click on this, still it is going to do the same thing. Okay, so this is a beautiful thing in InDesign. I can change the size of the text also. No, because size of the text is character, the attribute of a character, not an attribute of the paragraph. And there I would like to draw your attention towards these two sections here. What it says? Character. So do we have any character selected? No. So how can we manipulate that? No, but we have a paragraph in selection. So all these options which are there for paragraph can be taken care of just by clicking and addressing the paragraph. For example, here there is an hyphenation here, right? So if I just click here and then switch off the hyphenate, that hyphenation will go away. Okay, because it was under paragraph settings. Okay. So similarly, we can define styles for the paragraph and for the character. And those are known as paragraph styles and character styles. Okay.
So in a, like now how you have done here. So if we have to have if upper wala paragraph has a different paragraph style and
that's possible. Let me finish it and then you will have no questions left. Okay. Now this is how you select paragraphs. Now other techniques of selection is you double click on any of the word, it will select the word. You double click, it selects the word. You triple click, it selects the line. And you quadruple click, selects the entire paragraph. Okay, be quiz ready, huh? Quiz is going to come soon. So triple click is going to select the entire line and 4 clicks are going to select the whole paragraph. What about 5 clicks? It will select the entire content of the text box. Okay, what if it is in text flow mode? Let's try that out. This is another important thing. Okay, now if I double click here, selects one word, triple click, four click, and five click. So regardless of where the parts of that text box is, it will select the entire thing. So one click, two click, three click, four click, and five click. ठीक है? This is an amazing feature in InDesign. So one click was for what? Nothing. Just put the cursor, positioning the cursor. Okay. Now another important thing, since we are working with text here, I can define styles, right? Let me quickly break it down into multiple paragraphs and then we will define paragraph styles. So let's say that I want this to be heading and this much, this part to be subheading, and this should be the body text, right? This all should be the body text, and I want to style it different. So this is the normal, like where I have not given any styles. I'll make a copy of it, and then we will start defining style. Okay. Now notice one thing. I hit enter, and usually people are very, intrigued of doing this, right? To add some space in between. You should not be doing that because that's not right. You have created an empty paragraph there. Okay, so I'll say control Z. Now if you are designing single page layout and you don't want to deal with character styles and paragraph styles, that is fine. If you're doing a graphic design job in InDesign, that is fine. But if you are doing a publication design work in InDesign, this is not right. If you are dealing with multiple page, not right. Okay, so avoid doing that. Yeah. Now I'll start defining styles. In order to do that, you'll have to make sure that you are in the correct paragraph. I want to define it as a header. Okay. So I'm gonna select this, go to the view menu, window, and look for styles. Under the styles, I'll find paragraph styles. And I already had defined couple of styles in the last class. I'll let that be. Right now, what I'm concerned about is defining new style for this entire paragraph, which will break things out into heading, subheading, and body text. So by default, it will have a basic paragraph applied to it. And if you did any changes to the basic paragraph, then a plus sign will appear. Okay. Now I'm going to click on new button here to create a new paragraph style and double click on that to open that separately in a dialog box. And here we have many options. Covering all these options in this session will not be possible in full detail. So I'll only show you what are important for us, and then you can just go through it on your own and we can discuss, right? So many things probably will not even be useful for you. Uh, Depends upon the kind of projects you are dealing with. So first thing first, what I'll do, I'll change the name and I'll call it heading. Okay, and I can base it on some paragraph styles also, but I'll not base it on any right now. And I also have a shortcut which I can assign, and if I press that shortcut, it will straight away just assign that paragraph style, but I'll just let it be. Here it says that the paragraph style has some style settings applied to it, and it can list down only two attributions, which is about the font family and the size of. Now I go to the basic character formatting and I'll quickly change the font family, and let's say that I want it to be in MS Gothic, and while I do it, you will see that the changes is also taking place in the preview if the preview is ticked on. Okay, and why rest of the things are also changing, because while after creating the new paragraph style, all the entire text frame had the same basic style applied to it, which uh, you know adopted the new style created, and thus it is affecting the entire body. We will segregate it when we define the next paragraph style. So I'm gonna go here and then change the size because it's heading. I want it to be thicker. So I think 10 is too much. 8 is fine. And what else can I do? I think this font is not so nice. Let me find out. Okay. No, I'll go for Georgia. Okay. Many other options you also have here which you can play around with. I see that the leading is too much. So let me just fix that up. So 8 points leading is fine for me. And the case should always be okay, this is not the case. uh, okay, then we have advanced character formats. Try these out on your own. I think each one of the settings, if I try out, it will take a lot of time. So indents and spacing, tabs and all those things, you can keep on exploring, and then if something comes up, bring it to me and we will see it. You also have option of drop cap and nested style. So I can uh, no, drop cap will not be good for the heading, so I'll just say okay. I'll show you what drop cap is. So I have defined this for heading. Now let's quickly define for the subheading. So I'll double click and go inside it, and if I go to the basic the paragraph, here it says the basic paragraph is already applied to it, right? So I'll create a new style and then choose this one, double click on this and call it subheading. Quickly go to the basic character formatting and choose, let's say I want again Georgia, and I want this to be bold. So instead of regular, I'll switch to bold, and the font size is fine for me. uh, Maybe I'll just go with Times New Roman only. This looks fine. Okay, so Times New Roman, bold, and the same font size. Now I want to have some gap here, right? This is not looking nice. So I'm gonna quickly go to the subheading, double click on it, and then go to indents and advanced character formatting, and let's look for where we can find. I think here indents and spacing. Space before, if I increase this, it pushes it down a little. Okay, and I'm gonna say yes. Now I'll go to the body, just click anywhere and then create a new style, double click, and we will call it body text. Go to the basic character format. I want exactly the same, no changes. But what I want here, that after every paragraph it should have some space before it. So I'll just add a double how much is this? 0.2 picas, and then say okay. Now how many different styles do we have here? 1, 2, 3, and 4 also, because this has the basic paragraph applied to it. Now see, the moment I choose a different paragraph, the styles will also change. Okay, now for this one, I want the body text to be applied because I want the gap there, right? So I'll just click anywhere in between, and all I have to do is click on the style and it immediately catches up that style. Convenient, right? So if you format the text well, this is how it looks, right? Okay, now here let's say that I have read more written. Oh sorry, the dots are after that, right? Let's say that read more I want to write in there. So I can also assign this a paragraph style, right? Yes, isn't it? Because I want this of a different color, so I should assign a paragraph style, no? You guys are not paying attention. I told you that we have to assign character style because this is already a part of the paragraph. If I change the paragraph styles here, it will not work out well, right? So what we will do, we will have to select the entire thing and then switch to paragraph character styles. You can find it in the same panel and there is none applied right now. So I'm going to click and then double click and we will just call it read more and then go to the basic character format. The size I want to reduce a little bit, right? So let's go for 3 points and switch on the preview. Becomes smaller and the font family, see every style which is not defined, that means it is fetching those styles from paragraph styles, and anything we are defining right now is going to be explicitly assigned to the character styles. So paragraph styles works in combination with character styles. The attributions it cannot find in character styles can be inherited, will be inherited from the paragraph styles, and that is the reason why we do not have anything here. So it's blank. That means font family is inherited from where? Paragraph styles. Very good. Now I go to the character color and I want a different color here, right? I want red. So I'm just gonna pick red here and then say okay. See, looks better. All right. Understood? All right. Now we will apply these to this one. And how do I do that? Let's say that I want to apply the same thing here also. Now, if we wouldn't have defined styles, then imagine the amount of time we had to spend in doing the same thing there. But now we can do it very, very quick. Just click here, go to the paragraph style. We know that this is a heading. You click on the heading, done. You select this one, this is a subheading, done. This and this is supposed to be body text. You click on this, done. Okay, you click on this, done. And then you can add read more text. So let's say we don't have read more here. You can write that, of course, but let's say I want to apply, let's say this is read more. So all I have to do is select this, go to the character style and done. How much time did it take? Right? Now the best part is that let's say that you have applied this style in 100 pages and the client tells you that I want the heading to be slightly bigger, right? If you wouldn't have defined the styles, you would have to do this 100 times or at least wherever the heading is. But since we have defined the style, if my client says make the heading slightly bigger, all I have to do is go to the paragraph style, double click on the heading, go to the basic character format and then type 9 here and then say okay and done in all 100 pages, right? But that will or that might create havoc in the layout also. So maybe not this semester, but in upcoming, because I don't have that time to teach you, right? In one semester, I cannot teach everything in 2 classes, especially when your classes are hampered by PCMs and CCMs, and you guys take a break outside after that. So I don't have time for that. So those things will be taught to you when we have time. Okay. Right now, at least do this much. So I'm gonna click, drag it outside, and we'll start building the layout. Another important thing I wanted to show you is how we can break things into 2 columns. So this text here, now here the text is broken into 2 columns, but this text belongs to the same heading. That means the content is same, right? So if I wish to, first let me have some more content here. So I'm gonna go inside, go to the type and choose fill with placeholder text to have more text here. Now if I want this to be in 2 columns, this is see, there'll be people who the most intelligent people would do this. The super intelligent guys will do this. Don't be them. Don't be super intelligent. Okay? Then comes the next kind of people. So, who will do this? And ideally, this should be done like this only. So, they will use the text flow feature. That means they are going to click on this plus sign and then make the new. Okay? In this case, what happens? Let's say if I edit it here, it flows in the next connected text flow box as well, right? So, these two are connected with each other. Now, in this case, yeah, that there is this red box with a plus sign inside it. You have to click on that and make another. Okay. In fact, if I want it to distribute in the third column, I have to click on this and I just need to do this. So there are some benefits to it and there are some problems also associated with it. So I'll tell you another way of doing this. Okay. So I'm just going to select these two and delete. And what I'm going to do is span this entire text like so. And then press Ctrl B on the keyboard to bring text frame options. And here in the number of columns, I'm going to go with 2. And then I'll have to change the gutter space to match this. So let me just quickly go and then check how much gutter space do we have here. I'm gonna go to margins, layout, margins and column, and then check the gutter space and simply copy it from here. Come back, say Control B on the keyboard and paste it here. Oh, sorry. And then it will precisely align to our desire. Got it? So this is the best way of doing it because you can control both with just one transformative control, right? So this is the best way to do it if you are dealing in situations like this. Got it? Okay. All right. Now, how about this? This has to be created separately, right? There is no other option, isn't it? Yes, there is no other option. So we'll have to create that separately here for the header, this also and this also. Okay? Because it spans in two columns. If it would have spanned in just one single column, then that would be fine. Otherwise, you'll have to make it separately. Okay? Very good. Now you have understood paragraph styles, character styles, and using text frame options to break the same paragraph into two columns without making two text frames. All right. Now we'll quickly lay out these. Now to lay it out, I'll first use the frame tool because I want the sizes to be same, and I notice that there are 6 columns and the first picture spans through 2 columns, right? So let me just quickly draw that. uh, yes, 2 columns. All right. Why is this not visible? Huh? It's not visible. Huh? The text frames. What did I do wrong? Let's go to view. Guide and grids. I think by mistake we have
सर वो दो थे ना अब कमांड कंट्रोल ऑल्ट एच
कंट्रोल ऑल्ट एच करूं.
हाँ
अच्छा, नहीं नहीं कुछ और था. एक
आपने
सेकंड.
कंट्रोल
हाँ
एच
मैंने बताया तो था यार, मैं खुद ही.
कंट्रोल एच
नहीं, कंट्रोल एच will hide it, but here it's not bringing it back. So control shift H, no control alt H, no.
कमांड आप
So wait. नॉर्मल है स्क्रीन मॉड. ठीक तो है. एनीवे चलो कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है. As long as we can. Do we have to add the default color? No. The text frame should be visible. Did I? No, it's a text frame only, right? Mm, I think by mistake I have enabled something which I forgot. Now I can't remember that. Something happened because usually the text frame should be visible in normal mode. In preview mode it doesn't show, that's fine. But here in the normal mode it should be visible.
सर इट इज कंट्रोल मतलब मैक में कंट्रोल जो होता है ना वो इसमें क्या होता है
कमांड.
मैक नहीं मैक में कंट्रोल
मैक का कंट्रोल इसमें मैप नहीं होता.
तो फिर विंडोज विंडोज कंट्रोल
विंडोज नहीं होगा, सॉफ्टवेयर के स्पेसिफिक विंडोज नहीं होगा मैप.
तो ये सर तो फिर ये सर्च करो गो इन व्यू एंड गो इन एक्स्ट्रास एंड शो फ्रेम एजेस
देयर.
कंट्रोल एच
एक सेकेंड.
शो फ्रेम एजेस
वो तो है ही. ये तो enabled है ऑलरेडी. ये तो enabled है. व्यू में
सो टेक्स्ट सेकंड वाला बचा है बस
which one?
सेकंड वाला शो टेक्स्ट थ्रेड्स
टेक्स्ट से रिलेटेड है, उसमें थोड़ा ना दिखेगा. सम सेटिंग. इसमें और क्या हो सकता है? हाइड कंटेंट ग्रैबर ऑल्ट बी. ये है क्या? कंपेयर.
हाँ उसमें ये ग्रिड्स का है कमांड हाँ सर हमारे में तो आ गया वो करने से कंट्रोल एच से हो गया वो शायद इंडिजाइन का प्रॉब्लम
प्रॉब्लम इन डिजाइन का है. नहीं ऐसा तो नहीं होता यार. ऐसा होता तो नहीं है यूजुअली. गॉड, माय बैड, आई वाज इन ओवरप्रिंट प्रीव्यू इन द. नो दिस. इसीलिए कुछ नहीं दिख रहा था और कोई बोल भी नहीं रहा. मैं गलती से आई वाज. हाँ ऑफ कोर्स आएगा वापस, ये कैरेक्टर्स भी आएगा. मैं सोच रहा हूँ ये दिख नहीं रहा यार, ये क्यों नहीं हो रहा है ऐसा.
क्यों हमें कैसे पता चलेगा ओवरप्रिंट रिव्यू में
नहीं चलेगा, ये फेड आउट हो रहा है तो.
तो आपसे पूछा तो आपने बोला कि ओपेसिटी कम की है तो
नहीं,
बोला ठीक है
ओवरप्रिंट प्रीव्यू कंट्रोल ऑल्ट शिफ्ट वाई. माय बैड, आई वाज इन ओवरप्रिंट प्रीव्यू मॉड. लास्ट टाइम भी बताया था और मैं भूल गया उसके बाद करने के बाद. कंट्रोल ऑल्ट शिफ्ट वाई. ठीक है. So now I have switched off the overprint preview mode and I can see the text frames also. No, what I was mistaking it with, that if the preview mode is normal I should be seeing everything normal, right? That was my mistake. ठीक है, by mistake मैंने वो overprint preview mod में काम कर रहा था.
just to see all images in good quality
Yeah. So basically I have a text frame here. Sorry, a frame, graphic frame here. I'll make a copy of it here also, and I'll make a copy of it here as well. Okay, so three images. In between some text is going to come,
and type
right? So I'll just drag. I have already created that. Okay, and then I'll just take out the extra text which is not needed for layouting and push it up. And let me just,
ये क्या कैसे
वो छोटा हो गया इसलिए दिख रहा है वैसा।
से छोटा
प्रीव्यू को फास्ट करने के लिए इनडिजाइन करता है उसको।
टाइप
All right, and then we will have to create some.
so we'll justify it also.
You can justify it also. Control Shift J. ठीक है, and we will add some
Title.
title here. Let me just copy it from here only, and all we have to do here in this case is
Title character.
go to paragraph styles, right?
Type character.
Paragraph, because this entire thing is a paragraph, right? And choose heading. Okay, and now I realize that the distance between two lines is not nice, right? Like something is wrong. The leading is not working out for us, so we'll have to fix that leading also. Let me just push it up a little,
One should be 1.2.
and we will fix those things later on after the layouting is done. Okay, now here also goes some heading. Let me just drag it fast, and then we have another heading written here, and I can copy this one down here and increase, let it fill the entire space, and then I can just select and copy paste the content to fill the space. Okay, I have on purpose added some paragraph breaks there, and then I'm going to make a copy of the same thing here as well.
Paragraph line. लाइन ब्रेक था सिंगल कैसे ब्रेक
अभी डाला ही नहीं लाइन ब्रेक, देख लो. If I hit shift enter here, and
हाँ फिर वो एल
ये
एल
दिख रहा है,
हाँ
ये लाइन ब्रेक. ठीक है.
हाइफिनेशन
अच्छा,
चालू कर दिया
अभी now if I want to put the images here, we need to go to the place dialog box, control D, look for the images. I have downloaded these three, one, two, three. We will use these three, and then say open. I want to fill the first one here. Now I can hit space bar also and then navigate, and let's say that I want the protest image here, so I can use my arrow keys to toggle between the images. That's the best thing. Okay.
you selected all of the three now
Yeah, all three I have selected, and I can toggle between them by
the
switch
arrow
them
keys.
by arrow keys. Up and down arrow or left and right, both works. So let's say I want this image here. I want another one here and one more here. But then I realize that the images are way bigger than our text frame, our graphic frame. So what do? We select all three of them at once and then press the shortcut Control Alt Shift C on the keyboard. The beauty of InDesign once again. Okay.
To resize image to fit to the frame fit image to frame control alt shift C yeah use करने के
Got it? Now there is a line here. There are some
Divided.
dividers, and we will take care of those also. We already have the dividers in place. I'm just going to make a copy of them and place it here. One goes here, hold all, drag it, another goes here, and there I'm going to resize it, and one vertical divider we have. So I'm going to make a copy and then rotate it by holding shift and then add it here, right there in the middle of, and then I can increase the size. And at the bottom also I have one, so I'm going to drag and keep it at the bottom. And then I realize that we have, our length is like, the aspect ratio is more like narrower. So I'm gonna make a couple of copies of this image only, uh, and push it down and make another copy here, this header, and maybe add some text as head subheading here.
Caption. So there was an option which allowed to add static caption to the image while importing.
So I'll just go and then choose subheading here, maybe some more, I don't know.
So, but then we'll also have to add a divider. One one article cannot have two titles.
Now that you decide, I'm just doing it. Now the way pictures can be utilized, uh, this was a single page layout, so I haven't given much attention to the text flow. So the pictures can also be brought in line within the paragraph itself.
So surrounding.
So and then we use
Wraparound.
wraparound, yes, wraparound features, and there are many, options in that also. uh, but I think that sometimes creates a lot of trouble also. If you're using multiple column layout, don't use that. Like for two columns it is fine, max you can push it to two columns, but not more than that. Three is also fine if you really know what you're doing. Okay, so we have successfully designed our page. Let's switch to the preview mode quick and see what we have done. Okay, so those tiny bits and pieces can be definitely, you guys can fix that based on your layouts. But yes, this is more or less how it's done. I'm gonna save this file and I'll show you how we can export these things, and I'll show you the mistakes you can make. Now I realize that this is the same image, so I'm just gonna quickly select this, say Control D, and double click on this one to change it, and say Control Alt C to fix that also in the place. Okay, now notice that we should have some text here also, right? But that guys can do. If I need to prepare it for printing, so what to do then in that case, right? So pre-flight settings are there, that we will check. Then I realize that there are three errors also here. So if you are sending it for commercial reprinting, where multiple copies of the same thing will be done, you'll have to check everything, right? So that can be done by going to the Windows menu and looking for pre-flight option, that you can find where it is. Do you see anywhere pre-flight written, or output export or something like that?
Print presets.
Hmm?
Just print presets.
Comments, editorial, no. Objects and layout. No. Oh, have they removed it?
ऐसे print presets setup.
Any print presets are different. I think they have removed it also. I am using InDesign after very long. Nowadays, I don't work on print graphs. Anyways, so what pre-flight is gives us is that all of the things which we need at one place, right? So I'll show you anyway how to deal with it. So look at this status bar here at the bottom, and there you will find a red dot if there is some problem with your document, and you can double click on that to bring out the pre-flight. It should be there in the window also somewhere, but you can double click there and that brings out the pre-flight panel. And if it is on, it will show the errors. If it is off, if you're very sure that you don't need any suggestions from InDesign, you can simply switch it off, but it would be a good idea to switch it on. And it will tell you the errors. Right now, we have errors related to text in three places. If you expand it, it will exactly tell you that what is the problem. We have overset text problem. That means there are some text frames which are concatenating the content within it. It's cropping the content within it.
So it is an output.
हाँ
विंडो में आउटपुट में प्रीसेट.
हाँ, तो विंडोज में आउटपुट दिख नहीं रहा था, बता नहीं रहा था उस समय मुझे. ये रहा. Okay. So now in the text frame option, here I can simply click on this, and since we have just one page, that is why it is showing just one. If we would have multiple page documents, it will guide you to the exact location, exact page where you are having trouble. In fact, if you click on it, within the page also it will highlight the paragraph, highlight the text frame which has overset text. So to fix it, you just go there. I have just used dummy text, so I can just delete things from there, and then see it says the problem is resolved. Same way I can go there and I can just delete some of the text which I don't need, and it will fix that. I'm gonna click there and do the same thing here as well. Oh, okay, still कितना है, जाओ. ठीक है, I'll just copy this and paste it back again. So now there are no errors, everything visible, everything is fine. Now while okay, we are missing some vertical lines here. Let's quickly see, refer to our, yeah, we are definitely missing these two couple of lines, so we'll do that. And to make a copy of this one only, rotate it, resize, place it here. So one goes here, another goes here. Perfect. Very well. Yes. See, without those lines, it was not looking nice. Now it looks nice. So everything is in place. Now time to export. Now before exporting things, I would say pre-flight we have checked, right? If there would be any, there was one type of error we solved. I'll show you another type of error, which is a very common error. If we do not maintain a project folder, in this case we did maintain a project folder, but I'm very sure while you will work on it, you will not do that. So I'll tell you the problems associated with that. I have all the pictures which I used inside this image folder. What if I just select this one image and then change the name of it? I'm not even removing the picture from that directory. I'm simply changing the name of it. Okay. The picture is still in that folder. Sometimes we, take images from desktop, my documents, downloads, right, from all sort of places, and later on we just forget. We delete that. We have already used that. We don't need that, right? So in that case, you will end up getting a very poor quality of that image because InDesign do not cache or embed that image within its document. Okay. So here, now if I come, all of a sudden I see that there is one error. If you click on that, here it says links. Expand it, missing link. Expand it, and it will tell you that exact file which is missing. You click on that, it's gonna highlight that file also. Now here, because the file is very small and the cache preview is decent enough, at least for previewing it on the screen. I don't know what's gonna happen if you print it, right? And if you quickly want to check what's gonna happen when you print it, you press okay. No, nothing is gonna happen if you print it actually because it's very tiny. So if you want to fix this problem, you'll have to go to the links panel. And in the links panel, see all the assets which we have imported are fine. There are no problems. But here we have this red mark. You have to double click on that and that will open out the browser where you can target that particular file and then say open. And it will fix the link for you and things are back to normal. All the errors are resolved. Now you are good to go. So in order to export this, or let's say that you want to send it to the printer, yeah.
Lead edges and all.
So no bleed, that printer will set. You don't have to worry about it. So bleed and slug, because from printer to printer it varies. So you don't have to do that. There are people who will do it for you. Okay, but knowing about that is very important. You should know that what they are doing actually. So
But sir, when I went to the printer, they asked us the bleed and everything.
you went to the bad printer.
I
Go,
went to
go.
the best printer in all of them.
That means he's not the best printer in that case. I have been to many printers in last 10 years. Okay, get a good printer. Now, if you go to the file, or sometimes what happens, you can ask the printer. If you ask there are many good printers here in Asalfa. So if you ask the printer, then they will tell you about how much bleed to put. Right? In the magazine, the bleed is not so relevant. The slug is relevant. Because in the sorry, but not in the magazine, in this layout in the newspaper, did you ever see the images bleeding out of the edges?
No.
No, very rarely it happens. Only in the pages where they are giving advertisement, right? So there the bleed is important. Except that slug is very important, where color registration, all those parts, and those printers will set on their own. Yeah, slug is some additional information which is important for collating the paper after the printing is done. So it is for sorting the paper, cutting, and those sort of those information goes there. In the slug you also have registration marks, prop marks. Except then slug, you have registration marks, prop marks, color information. You must have seen those dots coming. Yeah. So in the newspaper, in earlier times, nowadays you will probably not find that, but in earlier times, like, why would you chop the newspaper and then get rid of that color information? So it's additional work, right? Chopping that off. So they used to just leave it there, registration mark and all those things. All right. So here, now what we will do is export it. So let's see what export options we have. So we go to the file menu and go to the option where it says export. So there are many ways how you can export it. Since we are dealing with just single page layout right now, I'm not gonna bother much about those settings. What I'm concerned about, that my font shouldn't go missing when I send it to the printer. Or let's say that if I send this artwork to somebody else who is supposed to work on it, add something to it, then he should not have issues with the linkings and all those things, right? So if I just need to send a PDF file, I can go to Adobe PDF preset and choose high quality print straight away. That's it. That's the safest way. Choose high quality print and then just say save. Then there are many settings. Not gonna explore it right now. Someday else. Say export. This is the safest bet you have. It's ready in PDF. Okay. Given that your picture's quality, this one, of course, the picture quality was not good when we imported, but remaining all will come in the best quality. Okay. So your file is ready to be printed. I'm gonna close this. Now, if you're sending it to some other guy, your friend or somebody else who is gonna edit it, in that case, you'll have to go to the file menu and go for package. Tell me where you see package here. So when you click on this, it will give you a summary of the things which will be included. How many fonts have we used? 5 fonts, right? And then links and images, all the things it's gonna include. If I say package and guide it to a folder and then say package, and it's just a warning that you are including fonts also into the package. You may not have the copyright for this. So I'm going to say okay and wait for it to create a package for me. I go there and there it says newspaper layout folder. You double click and inside you will find all the files. So I'll quickly introduce you with the files. One PDF, one INDD native file, one IDML file, which will be helpful if you are importing it in a different version of InDesign. So what is IDML? IDML is InDesign markup language. So basically you can it opens in InDesign. Then you have links folder inside which you will find all the images, and then you have document fonts also, and this whole folder can be sent to somebody else who will be able to make the changes or whatever they want to do with it, and they will not find any trouble in doing that. When you send this folder to somebody, suggestion is you zip all of it and then send it. Okay, so that's it about this demonstration. We have completed single page layout in InDesign. Hereafter we will only talk about how we can use the set of skills learned in creating a multiple page document. Okay, all right.